Now come, okay, got it. We now come to our third speaker. Our third speaker is Justin. Evaluating Justin is David, our guest. Thank you so much, David. Can you explain Justin's objectives?
Sure, Mr. Toastmaster, Justin is working on a speech. This is a non-pathway project, by the way. The speech is not from the pathway, but that is fine. It does not matter. Today, Justin will be talking about reading. Everyone's reading, not only selling, we're also reading every day. Specifically, why reading is good for public speaking and how to make the most out of your reading experience. The title of Justin's speech today is The Why and How of Reading for Better Public Speaking. Justin, the why and how of reading for better public speaking. Let's welcome Justin.
Before you start, Justin, do you see our timer, Justin?
Yes, I do.
5
Okay.
to 7 minutes. Sorry, I didn't mention that. 5 to 7 minutes speech.
Thank you. Take it away, Justin. Thank you.
Today, I'm going to talk about reading. You might be wondering, why is Justin going to be talking about such an elementary subject? Well, the reason is because throughout my time in Toastmasters, many of you have said you want to read more. And also, I think outside of Toastmasters, reading is something you can do to really take your communication skills to the next level. I've been reading since I was a kid. I have vivid memories of our dad calling us from work during our grade school summers twice a day. He'd call us to make sure we read 30 minutes in the morning, and then he'd call us later on to make sure we read 30 minutes in the afternoon. Ever since then, I've tried to read every single day, and it's an exercise which I think can greatly benefit anybody who participates in it. Today, I'm going to talk about how reading can help you become a better public speaker, and then I'm going to talk about how you can develop this habit along with some best practices. How can reading help you to become a better communicator? There's 4 reasons I want to talk about. The first reason is that the more you read, the better you become at writing. Most books out there that have been published are written by authors who have mastered the English language. The more you read, the more you absorb these writing styles, the more you absorb proper grammar, and this can translate when you write your speeches. The second reason how reading can make you a better public speaker is that depending on what you're reading, if it's a story, if it's something designed to be informative or persuasive or convincing, you are subconsciously and consciously learning how to do these things, how to tell a story, how to be informative, how to be persuasive. The third reason that reading can benefit your communication is it helps you build your vocabulary. How many of you here read on a somewhat regular basis? If you're like me, when you read, you're coming across words that you're not very familiar with. If you really want to understand what the author is communicating, you're probably looking up the words in the dictionary. Imagine if you're doing this every day, you're looking up words every day, how many words your vocabulary will accumulate. Pretty soon you can be our resident grammarian. The fourth reason that reading can benefit your communication and speaking is that it gives you content for your speeches. I've read books on investing. I've read books on building good habits. And of course, I've read books on public speaking. These have all provided me with content for my speeches. Now that we've talked about how reading can really help you become a better communicator, let me talk to you about how you can develop a habit of reading if you're looking to do so. The first thing is to set reasonable expectations of yourself. Most people don't read every day because they don't have enough time. What I recommend is you set a reasonable expectation for yourself as far as how much you will read every day. I have a very busy schedule. I try to read minimum 20 minutes a day. And most days, I don't read more than 20 minutes. I read 10 minutes in the morning, take a little bit of a break, and then a little bit later on, I read the additional 10 minutes. If you read 10 minutes a day, 7 days a week, that's more than 2 hours a week. And then you multiply that over the course of a month, that's 9 hours, over 9 hours of reading a month, which is a significant amount. The second tip I want to share when it comes to reading is to do it at a time of the day where you're not distracted. I read early in the morning when the house is quiet. It allows me to absorb what I'm reading. And I also believe the sooner in the day that you can get something done, if it's fixing your bed or reading, the more productive you're going to feel for the rest of the day. The third best practice for reading is to make sure you are comfortable. Imagine how often you're looking down at your cell phone. Imagine holding a book for a prolonged period of time. That can put strain on your neck and your arms. Let me show you something I recently invested in, which is one of my new favorite reading tools. I bought this from Amazon. It's a book holder. I put this on top of a table. I prop my book on it. I have 2 clips that I use to hold the book up. You can get this on Amazon for about 50 bucks. And I will tell you, this has made reading so relaxing. I'll have my timer set for 10 minutes. I'll have my highlighter out and I'll start highlighting the book as I'm reading it. It makes it very relaxing and a low stress, a low pressure exercise. So make sure you're comfortable. The other point I want to bring up, which I alluded to, is the importance of highlighting and writing notes in your book. I actually never used to do this because I always thought once I finished a book, I'm going to give the book away. But people can afford their own books. The reason you want to highlight and write notes in your book is because it'll help you absorb the information more. And then later on, when you want to reread the book or re-reference the book, which I tend to do quite a bit, you can jump to the most important parts. The last best practice I want to share with you when it comes to reading and how you can do it so it affects in a positive way your public speaking is to record yourself. I know that might sound strange, but get your cell phone, hit the recording app, and record yourself reading. Afterwards, listen to yourself. Do you like the way you sound? Are you reading too fast? Are you reading too slow? Do you like the sound of your voice? Is it nasally? From there, you can adjust your reading voice. And by doing so, naturally, when you speak here in front of our club, your voice will improve. And hopefully at some point you will like the sound of your voice. So in summary, reading is one of the best things you can do to improve your communication skills. Your writing will become better, which will translate to better written speeches. Your vocabulary will grow. Your ability to tell stories, be convincing, be persuasive will grow. To develop this habit, set a reasonable time frame for yourself. Make sure you're comfortable, highlight and take notes, and record yourself. And I strongly believe through incorporating some of these habits, you will not only learn more through the books you read, but your overall communication will improve. So I wish you all the best with your reading, and I hope you see the results in your next speech. Back to you, Mr. Toastmaster.
Thank you, Justin, for those great tips.